All right, welcome to the This Week in Golf podcast, and we are in the final week of the 2023 PGA Tour schedule with the FedEx Cup Championship this week, so we will talk about that. Also, the BMW Recap, some LIV news, and maybe some Ryder Cup stuff. So, let's start out with what just transpired last week at the BMW, which was the second tournament in the 3-tournament series for the the FedEx Championship. And so the first tournament was 70 players. The second tournament, which was the BMW, which just passed, was 50 players. And now that has been cut down to 30 players. And the BMW last week was won by Viktor Hovland. And there's he dominated on Sunday. Dominated, okay? He was, I think he was like 5 back with like going into the final 9 holes. And he ends up shooting 28 on the back 9 for a total round of 61, 88 greens and regulations, 25 putts. And that was enough for him to overcome Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler had a couple bogeys on the back 9. He still shot 66. So it wasn't like he played horrible, but Hovland shot 61, so new course record as well for Hovland. He beat Scheffler. He beat Matt Fitzpatrick, Rory McIlroy, Brian Harman, Max Homa. Max Homa actually shot a 62 on Saturday to get himself in there. So congrats to Hovland. And really with Hovland on the season, I don't know why they keep doing this, but even the PGA Tour's Twitter the other day said, congratulations to Viktor Hovland, 2 wins on the PGA Tour this season. However, he won the Hero World Challenge, he won the Memorial, and now he's won the BMW. That's 3. They don't count the Hero World Challenge for some reason. Maybe because, I don't know, it's an invitational that Tiger invites people to. But it was 30 of the best players. Rahm was there. Scheffler was there. Rory was there. He beat them all. So not understanding why they're saying 2 when it's clearly been 3. I mean, not only that, but the Hero World Challenge, it's on the PGA Tour's website on the scheduling section. Hovland won $1 million. Maybe, I don't know. It's so weird. I can only think it's because there was only 30 people there. Anyways, BMW, he wins $3.6 million. He won $3.6 million when he won the Memorial. 36 plus 36 is $7.2 million plus $1 million, $8.2 million. That's just on the wins he's had this year. So, gosh, he's having a pretty good year. Anyways, we head into the Tour Championship this week in East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta. So it's going to be hot, and this is where they always have the final event. Again, it's only 30 players, and it's a seeded event, meaning that people start at a certain under par. Okay, so here's how it works. They took the points for the whole year, and then you get seeded. So Scotty Scheffler is number 1. He starts at 10 under par. Hovland is 2. He's 8 under. And then Rory is 7 under. John Rahm is 6 under. So then there's a bunch of people at 4 under. Homa, Cantlay, Harman, Wyndham Clark, Fitzpatrick, 3 under. So the lowest is 1 under. Lowest, highest. So like Jason Day, for instance, is 1 under par because of the seeding, and Scotty Scheffler is 10 under par. So he needs to make up 9 strokes plus to have any chance of winning this thing. So it's interesting. Reminds me of Little League. I had gotten I signed up late for Little League one year. So back in the day where I grew up in Chico, you would have every Little League, every school had their own team basically. So it was by school. And I got there late, so I ended up on this team across town for the school across town. And my school, the school I went to, all the kids I went to school with, that team had an undefeated season. And we ended up meeting them in the championship game, and we beat them in the championship game. We blew their doors off. I'll never forget. They were all talking so much shit all week, and then they were all crying when they got their second place trophy. But then the next year, the Little League made a rule, and it was like the top team has to be beaten twice. So you had to play. So we would have had to play them again and beat them. We would have basically had to play a 3-game series with them because, they were undefeated and they should have got some sort of like ranking privilege or something, which may be a common thing nowadays, but it wasn't back then. And that's kind of like the seeding at the Tour Championship Series. I don't know the answer, but it seems like it could be better. I mean, you only have 30 players and you're giving people, some serious advantage to begin with. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's hard to bet against Scheffler. He's been playing great all season. And the only really thing is, is his putting, I guess you would say. But it's funny, I was looking at all these stats for putting, like who's the best putter in the world and whatnot. In fact, let's roll that into the Ryder Cup talk. So with the Ryder Cup, basically the top 6 are lock-ins to get through. So there's a 12-man team, and then the top 6 in the I guess it's the one world golf ranking system. Okay, so and then here's the top 6: Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, Max Homa, Brian Harman, Wyndham Clark. Okay, so and then I was looking at it. So the reason I wanted to roll this putting thing in there, because let's talk about the lower people. Okay, so the lower people on the cusp, these are the people that everybody, is talking about being on the team. Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka, Cam Young, Keegan Bradley, Tony Finau, Morikawa, Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas. So anyways, to roll this into the putting thing, so I started looking at these and I was like, okay, who's the best putter out of that group? And it turns out it is Sam Burns. Sam Burns is the 6th putter in like overall putting scoring. And then Max Homa 7. Okay. And so you say like Scheffler, he's having a bad year. Not having a bad year, he's having a great year, but his putting might be holding him back. He's 115. And then I was looking at Justin Thomas, and Justin Thomas is 149. This is like the ranking, but like the difference in like putts per round, if you actually look at it, like the lowest putts per round person is like 27, and then like the 149th person like Justin Thomas is like 29 putts. So it's literally like almost 2 more putts around. So there's 150 people in that range of between 27 and 29 putts. So it's pretty ridiculous how much, just a few strokes can make a big difference because these guys are so good. The only thing I'll say about the Ryder Cup, not the only thing, I've said a lot already. One more thing on the Ryder Cup, and I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it, is Justin Thomas needs to call up Zach Johnson and tell him, I'm not worthy. Take the pressure off Zach. He will not, but he should. And he just didn't have a good enough year. He didn't win. He's 149th in putting. Of all the names I just read, he's the 15th player. So they only take 12. So there's, 2 other guys ahead of him for those roles. And there's obviously some sort of like cool kids club on the PGA Tour. And, guys like Keegan Bradley and Brooks Koepka aren't part of it, but Justin Thomas is. What have you done for me lately? Everybody's like, oh, he's so good. He's been so good in the past. The guy's having a horrible year. He shouldn't be in there. And Keegan Bradley probably should be. But with my thing, with all these names on this list, is what I would probably give priority to is people who've won this year. At least Ricky Fowler's won this year. Sam Burns has won this year. Morikawa hasn't won. Cam Young hasn't won. Spieth hasn't won. I think Spieth and Cam Young are in there for sure, but still, Brooks Koepka's not. He's won twice this year. So what's the deal with that? Okay, final topic. Little LIV news. LIV is having an event in Chicago in September at some point in time. And, for me, what the difference between LIV and the PGA Tour is, well, a lot of things, but from a marketing perspective, LIV is marketed so much cooler. like the PGA Tour really needs to get with it. You know, I now follow the Four Aces on Instagram, and when they don't play that much is the problem, but when they do, they have really good content. You know, they basically have somebody with a camera following them around on the range, following them around all over when they're not playing. And so they're doing a great job with that. And then just like the intros to every like video they post on YouTube for their highlights, their intros are way, way better. They're exciting. And I think they're going to nail a home run with the Chicago tournament. Okay, so they're going to have a party hole. I forget what they're calling it, but they're going to have, you know, one of the par threes where there's going to be 20,000 people on it. And they sold tickets for $700 a pop, and they're sold out for Friday and Saturday. There's tickets available for Sunday still as of now, but that looks like it's going to sell out. So that's got to be a pretty big win for them. $700 a ticket. You know, I mean, if they get 10,000 people on the hole, $700 a ticket. I don't know. That's pretty good money. So there's that. And the other thing that they're doing is the same exact idea I pitched to the PGA Tour and NBC Sports and Comcast was having concerts at the golf tournament. And so they are having Friday night is Nelly. It's getting hot in here. Nelly from the 90s. That's so great. We were just talking about Nelly the other night. And that's Friday night. And then Saturday night is Tiesto, who's a DJ. So for all the kids. So they're really like, that's a pretty good mix actually, because Nelly's like probably the demographic for Nelly. Like if you were a kid when Nelly was popular, you're like 34 or 35 now. And then Tiesto he's a DJ that's been around forever, but he's probably trending about 35 and lower as well, as far as average crowd. So yeah, I'm impressed with what LIV is doing with these concerts after the PGA Tour event. And the PGA Tour does do it, but they should be doing it for basically every event that they do. That's my thought on that. Okay, so we head into the Tour Championship. Let's see what happens this week. Staggered system. Hopefully it's a good tournament. Hopefully it comes down to the back nine on Sunday and we get some excitement. And I will talk to you later or next week for This Week in Golf.
Hey, it's Jeremy Callahan, and thanks for listening to This Week in Golf. Make sure and hit subscribe so you can get all the latest news and analysis from Golf BPM.